Hey everybody, just Jess here, welcoming you back into my garage, my man cave, for another day of accountability. Today is Monday, December 28th, the year 2020. I read through Psalm chapter 37 today, and Psalm 37 really talks about how David uses intuition and how he makes his decisions wisely. So, speaking upon that, do you ever feel like you need help in crises or facing decisions? Like what to do, what to do. Well, if you feel like you need a therapist, Psalm 37 is just for you. When you feel the pressure of competition, the compulsion to perform, or comparing yourself to what other leaders have, you need to stop and remember the words that David is writing here. Now, David writes like a counselor in Psalm 37. He brings eternal perspective and long-term vision that prevents mistakes in short-term decisions. We can see in verse 3 that we're going to do what is right despite what others do, and we're supposed to cultivate faithfulness and not rush into anything. And verse 3 says, trust in the Lord, do good, dwell in the land, and befriend faithfulness. So no matter what, Joe Schmo's doing, we are called as leaders to do the right thing. We need to do good and trust in the Lord. So we have to do what's right despite what others do. And we have to cultivate the faithfulness. Verse 4 talks about prioritizing God and his values, and that he will reward us and satisfy us in the end. Now, verse 4 of Psalm 37 says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. We need to remember that the desires of our heart, not to make them selfish desires, but to know that we are to have God prioritized in our life and have his values persuade our desires the way that our heart sees. So prioritize God and his values, and he will reward and satisfy you in the end. The next thing we pick up in verse 5, and it says, commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. Meaning, commit and trust God with all of your ways, because he holds the results to your commitment. Verse 7, we see, be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Don't compare yourself to others who prospers in their own way, or over the man who comes out to do evil devices. Really, that's just trying to say, be quiet and patient in your perspective, because it grows when we grow still and we think. So the more time we have to just chill for a minute and just take a breath, sit back and say, okay, God, I've cleared my mind for you. Now let me grow my perspective here. Verse 8, we find the next one, and it says, refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself. It tends only to evil. Refuse to get angry at competition. Anger doesn't do anything but bring the results that you don't want in your life. And you could take that firsthand from me, because the times I get angry, it's angry over stupid things, and that never pans out to anything that I want. Anything that I've been pushing for in my life, if I've gotten angry over it, it's just gone. Your mind is in a different place than where it should be when you're angry. And when your mind is off, then your body responds as well. The last thing we see is in verse 9. Verse 9 says, evildoers shall be cut off, and those who wait for the Lord will inherit the land. Verse 9 just really talking about put your hope in God. He will guide you, and in the end, he'll use your decision to his glory. So we really have seen through the first few verses of Psalm 37, there's 40 verses there, but they're just the first few, the first 9 or so, how David makes his decisions wisely and how his decisions are for a long-term vision rather than a short-term, right now, like satisfaction. I hope that Psalm 37 really spoke to you like it did to me today. I hope that if you have any friends or family that are going through anything right now, any tough decisions, that you just send them Psalm 37. You don't have to send them my video, although if they want a little bit of explanation into a couple of the verses, maybe that could help them. But if you want to send that to them, that would be amazing. I know that the Bible can help heal the wounds that are opened up by a lot of this world. So I always want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I hope that you guys are staying safe, that you're going and growing. God bless.